the Disney knitter, Pamela. She has this, and it's discounted off her website. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm so bummed because I also have this curry on air that I may make another one, but I'm thinking I might make another Jenny Noto.
Yeah,
with it.
that's beautiful.
Anyway,
A slughorn or a, oh yeah, she's got so many great patterns for super bulky yarns. So yeah, you can check those out. There's a section in my website under the kits, and it just says Wanded 527 kits, and all of those are the kits that I carry. Or you can look under patterns, and under that menu you can see all of the patterns that I carry of Jenny Notos, and it's the same price buying them from me or Ravelry. It doesn't matter really, but I'm just saying that they're there and they're available.
Great. Okay, everybody. Oh, hi, Shirley. You know what? I think you shared your screen, and we need to
There we go.
unshare. Oh, good. Thanks, Shirley.
Oh.
Okay, so how many people have cast it on? I think some of you have. Oh, yay. If you'd like to share, hold up your like your yarn or whatever you've, oh, look at that. Oh, look at what you've picked. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, Gilda has mermaid shoes.
Oh,
so
yay.
beautiful.
Yay.
So beautiful.
Also, guys, as we continue to talk through this session, feel free to drop questions, comments in chat, and Pamela is going to help manage that and make sure we answer questions and address everybody. Okay, so I think to get started, feel free to keep knitting along. For those who haven't cast it on yet, I thought I would sort of go through some of the pattern notes and the tips. Jenny Noto has generously put a lot of these tips in, and I wanted to call out or highlight some of the ones that I thought were important to really look at, because I'll be honest, I just cast it on. I don't wear a lot of hats, but I love to make them and give them away. There were some mistakes in mine, but you can't really tell. But one thing I did one of the stitches sort of, I messed up, but it was a learning experience because now I can share that with you. So one thing to note is the size of this hat. I mean, first of all, Jenny wrote this pattern to accommodate all the yarn weights from fingering to super bulky. And that's amazing because not many designers do that at all. So one thing to note is that, like, I took the super bulky pattern and just cast it on those stitches without regard to sizing. The pattern is written so that in all of these gauges, the hat measurement result will be around 8 inches or 16 inches in circumference. Okay. So really 16 inches in circumference, which if you're measuring around this part of your head, oh, and let's see, I dropped here a little cheat sheet for you. It's in the chat way up at the top. And what it is a hat chart measurement. Let's see if I can pull it up. And how to measure your head.
Oh, I love this kind of stuff. It's so helpful.
Let me, here we go. So, for the longest time, I thought I I measured my head sort of on a slant over my ears because that's kind of how I wear my hat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a page out of the Vogue Knitting Ultimate Knitting Book, which is a fantastic reference book. If you don't have it, you might consider getting it. But really, where you measure is sort of this way, above, not right at your ear. I was always measuring it right above my ear, but anyway,
How much
that's where
does
you
it
measure.
change? Is it a lot?
You know, I don't know. I just know, let's see. I know my head is roughly 21 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 21 and a half with my hair. And then let's see. I think the measurement gets a little distorted if you do it on a slant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, it adds almost a half inch on mine.
Mm.
So there's that. And then for depth in your head, you'll see in the figure number 2, that's where you might measure for.
Is it from
would
ear
measure.
to ear, or is it from crown to ear?
From crown to earlobe, right there. And Jenny mentions in this pattern that, you know, if you want, it's written so that it's fitted, more of a beanie style toque. If you want it more slouchy, you probably want to add another repeat. And depending on the yarn you use, you just have to make sure you have enough yarn.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, everybody, this is posted in chat if you wanted to download that. And then, you know, you've got all the measurements there. Okay, so.
Well, that's really helpful.
Yeah, so thank you. Yes, it is, I think. Depending on who you are knitting it for, then you will need to figure out how many stitches you're going to cast on, because the directions as given are for, you know, the 8-inch width or 16-inch circumference. Now, in her pattern notes, she does, I highlighted this. In her pattern notes, she says the pattern repeat is 6 stitches and 8 rounds for size adjustments. So, you know, as I mentioned, I did cast on as was just stated in the pattern. This fits me on the small side. I think it's probably it'll be more of a small women's or child size hat. So if I were to make it in this bulky again, I would have probably added 2 more repeats for the circumference. So 12 stitches. So you want to, if you're going to be adding or subtracting stitches from your chosen pattern or your chosen yarn weight, then you'll need to make that adjustment in increments of 6 stitches for your cast on. Now, we can talk about gauge a little bit. To be honest, we're going to let you slide on the gauge. For hats, I mean, I just cast on, like, you know, start with the yarn label. If you're doing a bulky, you know, you're going to probably cast on with a 9 or 10 or 11, and then make the adjustment along the way. I mean, don't even sweat it for the hat. Honestly, you know, you can tell pretty much right away if your gauge is looking funky. I mean, really, you just want to aim for the fabric that you want. And it's okay to adjust that needle size one, you know, up or down as you knit. And you'll be knitting the brim first. As you know, with any ribbing, you want to cast on loosely. And, you know, I have a super simple tip for casting on loosely. And I use the long tail cast on 90% of the time. Sometimes for an extra stretchy cast on, I'll use the German tail cast on. But let me just show you real quick the long tail cast on and the way to do it loosely. A lot of times you can just cast on with a larger needle, right? We've all heard that. But my little tip for the day is, and I'm going to switch my camera here. So, you know, if you want to see this up close, maybe you can put it on speaker view. Anyway, so, you know, I'm pretty sure we all know the long tail cast on here, right? So here we go. Can we see that? Yeah. By the way, these are my Luca needles. I never know how to pronounce it, and I just love them. They're my favorite wood needles. Okay. So when you do the long tail cast on, the only thing you need to remember to keep it nice and loose is to cast on with your stitches spaced out. And that means slowing it down, right? Because sometimes we just sort of whip through our long tail cast on. But all you have to do is cast on your stitches spaced apart.
I've never done that before.
Yeah. So, and you know, a lot of beginners do this where, you know, you're casting on with your stitches very close together.
Right? That's how I always do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what makes the tighter cast on. You don't have as much
Space
play in
yeah.
between those stitches. So that next row is going to be tighter than you really, you know, want it to be. So anyway, that's a little
Oh,
tip.
that's really
That's all
cool.
you have
Thank
to do.
you.
Phyllis, did you have a question? I thought I saw her hand up.
Yeah, I didn't see in the chat the measurements, but maybe I have to check again.
Oh, go scroll to the top. It should be an image that was posted there.
Yeah, I can't see it either, Josie.
Oh,
there is crayon air yarn. Other than that, there is no link.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me scroll up there. It shows on my screen. It's above. It's way at the top as an image. I don't know. Let's see. Well,
we can get it before we leave, or we'll make sure that we'll.
Yeah, can I send it to you, Pamela? And we can
Yeah.
just shoot an email to everybody.
Yeah, I'll put it in the email that has the link to the videos and everything.
Oh, awesome. Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so that was just my quick little tip on a cast on. I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of elementary, but sometimes those little tweaks in our knitting can make all the difference. Okay. Any questions, comments so far?
Okay, Shirley, I'm sorry. I don't know why you can't see. Everybody else can see, right? Gilda, you can see everybody. Yeah, I'm just not sure. It's got to be a setting on your end. I'm so sorry. But Shirley, this is being recorded, and and make sure, yeah, if you're not on that email list that I've been sending out for the last few weeks. If you're not on there and you want to get the links to the videos and everything like that, be sure and just put your email in here and I'll add you to that list. Okay. I'm really sorry. I'm not sure what's happening on your end. Anyway, Josie, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I hope, yeah, I'm not sure. It's probably on her end. Okay. Okay, so any questions so far? I think, as we kind of keep going here, has anyone had trouble figuring out the actual stitches yet? Okay, so I did this video tutorial. I will have to say that the first time I did the special stitch, which is for those of you who've gotten there already, the knit 3 through the back loop maneuver, that was a bit challenging for me. I was knitting with metal needles. I use Addies. And then my wood Leica needles. And then, but for this particular pattern, I used the metals, and it was challenging to use them because they were pretty slippery with that 3 stitch through the back, knitting through the back loops. That maneuver was it kept slipping off my needle. So I recommend, for me, I don't know, maybe for you, you guys have better control, but what really helped me was when I went to my Leica or wood needles with the slight varnish on it, because there's some grabbiness, but it still slides along. I'm going to see if I can show you my little YouTube tutorial, the part about this special stitch, which is on, what round is that? Round, where are my notes? Here we go. Round 2. And she indicates that special stitch with the that funny little symbol. Oh, hi, Shirley. You're sharing your screen again. So I'm going to find, bear with me, ladies. Let's see. And gents. Okay, I'm going to share this and then get us to that point in the tutorial where it shows us that knit 3 through the back loop maneuver. Now, yeah, let's see. Okay. So, okay, so this is where I've marked it for everybody. Okay, so we'll go to 442. Here we go. Let me know if you.
So we are on round 2 of the Granger Toque pattern. Round 2 is purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and then the special stitch. So at this point I'm at the special stitch. The special stitch happens over these 3 stitches. To demonstrate that, we are going to knit 3 through the back loop. We insert our right tip into the back loops of those 3 stitches, wrap your yarn, and then carefully pull that through. Now give it some slack here, which you'll need to complete the stitch so that it's still nice and loose. Yarn over, and then we're going to go right back into the back loops of those 3 stitches. Wrap your yarn and carefully pull it through. Again, pulling up some slack on that 3rd stitch. Then slide those 3 stitches off the needle. you should have 3 stitches on your right needle. You'll notice here there's an elongated stitch. Just remember that that was the first stitch you pulled out of the sequence here, and that's going to be on the furthest right of these 3 stitches. Just make note of that as you continue knitting the next round, because sometimes you'll see this sort of mingle and get caught with these other 2 stitches, and you'll just want to make sure that this is going to be the first stitch you knit on the next round. There's also an alternate way that the designer provides to do this stitch. If you find that the stitch is too tight, or you're struggling with knitting through the back loops, you can try it this way. So I will work the special stitch on these 3 stitches. What you can do is slip these 3 stitches knitwise. So slip, knitwise, slip, knitwise, slip, knitwise. Insert the left tip into the front of those stitches, and then knit. And what that does is it twists these 3 stitches and opens them up a little bit more for you, and it does make it easier to go through those 3 back loops. And then continue with your yarn over, and then into the back loops again, and gently pull it through. Again, give it some slack. Slide the 3 stitches off your needle. And this is what I mean by that stitch, that elongated stitch getting sort of, overlapping these 2 stitches. You just want to make sure that when you come to the following row or round, you'll be knitting that stitch first.
Okay, so hopefully you guys saw that. To me, so I screwed up the first time I did that stitch, because that little slanty stitch would get caught in between the 3 stitches. It would shift to the middle, and I would knit the stitches out of order, and it does throw off that whole kind of fanned stitch look. So just wanted to call your attention to that and share that with you.
Has anybody had an experience with knitting the special stitches yet? I know Gilda has. Has anyone else? You have? Can you unmute yourself and let us know what you thought about it? Maybe I can unmute you.
We can unmute ourselves.
There you go. Okay.
We're all Zoom experts at this
Sorry.
point, right, guys?
I work in
2
tech.
years.
If I'm not Zooming, I must be dead. Or busy drinking. Okay, that's, yeah.
Oh, right.
Did you say binge drinking?
No. I like your ears. Nice to meet you. So the special stitch is tricky. I'm silly me. I picked yarn that's fingering. Oh yeah.
Oh.
What was I thinking? But I'm using metals, and I find I've got my little signature stilettos, and it still takes some work. So what I find works, and this is actually written in the pattern, on the, what would it be? On the odd rows where you're just knitting and purling, go a little looser than you normally would. Loosen your tension a little bit, so that way when you get back to doing the special stitches and the twists, it's easier to dig into the yarn.
Good idea.
Good point, Carla. Yeah, thanks. Actually, you're right. I did highlight that too in my notes. So knit the odd numbered rounds more loosely. It does help.
It works.
Let's
Yeah.
see hold up your work. It looks beautiful.
Oh, well, it's a neutral color, so it's a little hard to, really get an idea. Hang
I think
on.
I can spotlight. There we go.
Oh, geez. I want to be spotlight.
Sorry.
No. There.
Oh, I
Oh,
love
Oh,
that.
you can
color.
see it. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is
Oh,
actually, this is a La Jolla. I live in Southern California. Yes, it's backwards now. This is a La Jolla hand dyed.
Lovely.
I found when
lovely.
I'm new here, so of course, when I have free time, I go to all the local yarn stores, and I really liked this one. We got into a big discussion about this hat.
Oh.
And I said, okay, then we spent 10 minutes about pooling because I bought a yarn once that pooled. And anyway, she assured me this one would not. And so far, so good.
No,
I
it
love
looks
the
very
little flex in it. Yeah.
yeah.
Were you
Love it.
at Needlecraft Cottage?
Pardon?
Were you at Needlecraft Cottage?
I have not been there yet. This was Yarn and Thread Expressions.
Oh, okay. In what do you call it? In what city is that?
Well, San
Ooh.
Diego, but
Carol's
yeah,
the
which
owner.
neighborhood, I don't know. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's still there. I went into that shop once when I was down in the San Diego area. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a nice little space.
Yeah.
Good. They've been there a long time.
Well,
My
that's
question
beautiful.
is,
Oh,
oh,
go ahead.
how do you in like row 4 has given me the most trouble because I can't seem to remember if I am on RPT or LPT, and I can't remember. I mean, there's no clues to tell me which one where I'm at. What are the clues? That's what I want to know because it looks the same.
Right. So okay, good question, Gilda. I'm gonna, if you guys will indulge me, I will put my overhead camera on again.
And by the way, I have did more Jenny Noto patterns than anybody in the country. I'm sure
yes,
of it.
you have.
Hold yours up really quick before she goes to camera, Gilda.
Oh yeah, let me highlight you.
Look at that. Look at that color. Oh my God.
Gosh, what is that yarn?
That's classy. That's classy from Dream in Color.
No. Brand new.
Oh,
It's
no,
not
no,
a
no.
brand-
That's right. It's not classy. I'm sorry.
It's Riley. Riley, that's coming. Dream in Color is going to. It's going to release pretty soon.
Yeah.
What
it's
is
mermaid.
what is the fiber content? All wool, superwash.
100% superwash merino, but it's a single ply, and the stitch definition, if you can see, is outrageous.
Yes, it's gorgeous, pretty.
Yeah. So
It's
but
beautiful.
and I think this probably 20 times.
Oh, you did that? I know. Okay. So, well, let's see. Maybe I can help you. I'm gonna go to my overhead again.
Because you can't really put stitch markers. It doesn't really help.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
And I'm an old lady and can't figure out where I am.
So let's see. Oh, I actually am on that round 4. Okay. So the way, and Gilda, I know you are an experienced knitter, but at some point, right, in our knitting journey, we start learning how to read our knitting and look for those visual cues.
Right.
So the way it registered in my brain when I did that sequence, so round 4, so we do the, am I on that round 4? Anyway, this is the round where you're doing the right purl twist and the left purl twist.
Right.
So Gilda, I looked for this slant. Wait, where's this? So I looked for so here's that fun stitch right below.
Right.
That's sort of the setup to this
Yeah.
fanned out stitch pattern. So this was my right purl twist, and my visual cue was that it leaned right. And then, purl, knit, purl. And then the left LPT is what leans left. So I would just sort of look for those visual cues.
Yeah.
I knew that I was on the right spot on top of my
Yeah.
work here. If
Okay.
it was leaning right and leaning left.
You know, you're right, because I don't look at the whole, like, I'm just looking at the stitch. I'm not looking at below. And you're right. I should know better. I should have known better, but I didn't.
Yeah, and it takes a couple repeats to see what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So you start
Yeah.
seeing the right slants and the left slants. So, you know, everybody, that's your right twist and your
Right.
left twist.
What kind of brain thinks this up? It's
I
amazing
know,
to
right?
me.
Like, where did she get this? I know, it's really quite fun. She's something, and I have to say, she's a new to me designer as well.
Oh, she's
And
brilliant. She's brilliant. I mean, when I say I've knitted more of her patterns than anybody in the country, I'm sure of it. But she's so brilliant. It's so hard to even, I get so angry when I knit somebody else's hat pattern, and I'm like, this is not, because she's so methodical and thorough, and down to the crown, even the crown decreases are beautiful. And a lot of designers kind of give up at and they just assume you're going to put a pom-pom on it, but she's
Right.
brilliant. So I hope you guys continue to enjoy her.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for introducing me to her, both you and Pamela. There are, and once you finish the Granger toque, the hat, she does have matching mitts that are adorable. So, you've got the pattern stitched down.
And even a cowl too.
Oh, she has a cowl, right.
There's a Granger set on my website.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, Carla got it. Yeah, Carla's doing the whole thing. Are you doing it all in matching yarn, Carla?
Probably not. I'm going to finish the hat, then the cowl. I've never made mittens, so I'll keep my subscription to KnitChats. Hearing from me.
Oh,
the mitts are easier than, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've made Granger mitts, but I made her, was it the Amortentia mitts? Yeah, the Amortentia mitts. And I was surprised they were my first fingerless mitts as well. And I was surprised at how easy it was. Because I was kind of intimidated too. I thought, oh, that little, that little thumb, and I don't know. Yeah. But the way Jenny, I'm with Gilda. I just rave about the way her patterns are written. They're just so step by step methodical, and if you can't get something, you just kind of have to just slow back, because they do lead you through step by step. And anyway, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a bad first mitt to try.
Well, I've not done the Granger, but I did the Amortentia, and it's just another stitch, but it's the same, construction.
And plug, you can get that on your website, right? The pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. Amortentia, everything. Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Does anybody else have any? Let's have somebody else show us their. Karen, what do you have?
I'm just getting started. I was trying to teach myself the tubular cast on.
Oh, yeah.
And I got so frustrated, I just quit and just did. I usually do just the crochet cast on, so I'm a little behind.
Yeah, no, you're not behind. We did say it was a cast on party, so.
Oh, yeah, for sure, Karen. Oh, good. Okay. Whatever, any cast on works, really. You just want to make sure, because it's a rib, that it's going to have some give and just be on the looser side. And I noticed there's another Karen here too. Hi, Karen.
I will say,
Karen's iPad.
Yeah, Karen's iPad. I will say that I am a huge fan of the tubular cast on. I've done it several times, and if gun to my head right now, I wouldn't be able to do it, but I look it up every time and I do it. And to me, it just, there's a pattern. I have a kit pattern called Sling Rose Beanie, and it has a tubular cast on, and you can do, you know, the pattern says you can do either, but if you ever do it, do the tubular. It's well worth the trouble. And we'll next knit along, we'll have, in fact, that we talked about that being our next knit along, didn't we?
Yes.
I have the yarn
I love
here
that
to
Sling
give
Rose
you.
pattern.
That's right. And that one has the tubular cast on. So next time Josie's going to show us how to do it from memory.
Yeah, and there are different ways to do it, and it can be intimidating, but once you do it, it's worth it. It's worth it, you know. It does have that nice rolled edge that gives it such a finished, professional finished look. So,
Josie, how do you know so much? It's amazing.
I don't know. Well, you know, after you answer 2,000 questions from knitters, you know, it's just, you know, we continue to learn, right? I mean, even the teachers, we're just constantly learning, and we you know, knowledge is just passed along to everyone. We just pass it along. Thank goodness for YouTube, right?
This is one of those patterns also where you can't cheat. Like if you are missing the neck, you know, like sometimes if I'm missing a purl, I make up a purl. If I'm missing, you can't really do that with this. You can't.
Right. And, you know, one of the notes on the pattern is to think of it in threes. Just get that rhythm of 3 stitches. There are things happening sort of in threes. I mean, you've got the purl twists going on in there, but, you know, it's basically that purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 sort of rhythm.
Yeah, she does keep talking about that rhythm, and you're right. It's once you get it, that rhythm is amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, your brain will lock into it. So this is why it's fun for the, you know, advanced beginner, intermediate knitter. For sure, I think this really is an intermediate pattern. So for sure, yeah, Carla's shaking her head for sure. Or, you know, a very adventurous beginner, but with lots of help and tutorials, I mean, I think you can do it. I mean, I think you at least need to have a couple of hats under your belt. But yeah, this is kind of fun. How do you guys knit? Do you guys like magic loop, or you know, 2 circulars or double points when you're knitting in the round? What's your preference?
I usually use magic loop, but right now I'm just using 16-inch circulars because that's what it said to use.
Yeah. Oh, good. Thanks, Alexis. And then how do you do the crown part? Do you switch to magic loop or your double points?
Yeah, I switched to magic loop for that.
Great. Your team magic loop. I'm a
hang on a second.
person.
You switched to magic loop to finish it. That's clever. That didn't occur to me.
That is clever. Yeah.
I use double points. And
I have never used double points. They scare me.
Understand. Okay.
And I don't have, you know, 2 circulars in every size, so magic loop it is.
Do you all mind sharing magic loop, because I'm not familiar with that?
So, Karen, magic loop is when you're knitting, and I'm not prepared with needles, but when you are knitting circularly on a like 32-inch circular needle, and what you do is you're knitting part of the part of the stitches are on the cable, and part of your stitches are on the needle, and then you've got them split. Like, let's say you've got 30 stitches you're knitting in the round, 15 and 15 would be split, and then you'd be pulling your needle out and knitting with the cable. It's really a cool technique. I personally am not a big magic looper, but there's a lot of videos on YouTube showing the technique.
There are a lot of tutorials.
A lot of tutorials there are, and once you get it, there's a rhythm to it, you know.
I'm a huge fan.
Oh, Pamela, you're a magic looper. Okay.
Yeah, huge fan. And it's just a rhythm, and it's so easy. And there's just a little tip to, maybe I'll do a video, just a short video to post on social media or something about it. There's just a little tip to keep the ends together, when right where the loop joins, you kind of have to make sure that you don't get a little ladder going on down. But once you get it, it's just so easy.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I feel just, I can cruise faster on double points because I'm just whizzing around going in one direction. I'm not readjusting stitches and that magic loop does, but but I can get the rhythm. I will do it if I have to. I'm stuck without any double points, but you know what, guys, I love my Luca Leica double points. I have the full sets, and I'm just a DPN gal.
Yeah.
that looks fabulous.
I know.
Yes, I love them. I love these needles. I don't know. Do you carry these, Pamela?
I do. I think I'm out of them right now. I was just going to say I've sold a bunch of them, but I don't own any because they just go out the door as fast as I get them in.
They're beautiful. I mean, I've had mine for several years now. I mean, when they first came out, they're hard to keep. They're hard to find, right, Gilda? I mean, I don't know. It's once they come in, then they're out.
So I'm seeing Karen's iPad. How far are you? I see oh, have you started the special stitches? Oh, you're still on the brim. Got it, which is totally cool. Anybody else? Vanessa, Ellie, Jackie, Janet, anybody else want to share what they're working on?
I started the first of the special stitch. So far so good.
Excellent. Looks good to me. It's dark, so it's hard to see the.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Can I spotlight you, Ellie?
Yeah.
I just wanted to see it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be hard. Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay. You're doing
I
is
don't
that
know
black?
It's hard to see. It's hard for me to see, so I can't imagine how it's gonna be for you.
Yeah.
I decided to do a mohair.
Oh,
So,
lovely. So,
I don't know. We'll
yummy.
see how it goes. Yeah.
My only tip, if
And
you're using a mohair,
started a different yarn. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
hear. My only tip with using a mohair
No, go
is
ahead.
don't make any mistakes, because I started knitting one with a fingering mohair, and I didn't finish it because I was learning it, and anytime I would make a mistake, it was terrible to pull it out.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah,
that's what I'm afraid of. So this is my second one that I made of this hat. So I'm hoping that it'll be okay, but it was so.
No, I'm sure you'll be fine. I was just laughing at my experience.
Oh, Alexis asked, that doesn't itch your head?
No.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I know people either love or hate mohair, right? And fortunately, if you like that fuzzy halo look, there are alternatives. There's some nice sort of alpaca.
Yeah, there's not
blends.
I've been looking for an alternative that isn't animal fiber, because I can only use superwash merino or superwash wool, because my skin can't take any other kind.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But nothing else seems to have that fuzzy, nice texture.
There's some nice
alpaca
acrylics.
does bother me, unfortunately. So.
Yeah. Well, I think, Alexis, your option then would be an acrylic, a nice acrylic blend, maybe.
I wonder what about Pluma? Pluma is cotton. Could that work with a bigger?
Cotton with
Pluma could work
a
with a bigger needle. It looks like teddy bear yarn.
I feel like Pluma would completely lose any stitch definition. I feel like you wouldn't even see the pattern, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
What weight is it?
Worsted or DK? DK, you
Okay,
said?
because
Okay.
I'm thinking of like a fingering weight that I could combine, because a lot of patterns are doing that now. Like a fingering or lace weight combined with like a worsted or a DK.
I was going to show
find a way to
you.
go find some yarn. You
Here's
know,
some Pluma.
oh, here, I'll spotlight you, Pam.
Okay.
Let's see that.
Yeah, here's.
Oh yeah, so that's right. Now, what's the fiber content?
It's 100% cotton.
No, 85.
I was looking here.
85% cotton.
85% cotton and 15 polyamide. So
Okay. Oh yeah,
it's really
that looks
pretty.
great.
And the gray.
Nice.
You guys, there's a there's an Italian designer named Bruno Caccinelli, and he designed a sweater that Jennifer Lopez has been seen in. And one of my stores had a customer who bought the sweater. It's almost $3,000 sweater, and wanted to deconstruct it at the store. Sure enough, it's Pluma. When we traced it all the way to the mill, it's
Wow.
Pluma is used with a mohair.
There's a strand, yeah. With mohair.
Yeah, with a mohair beaded sequin in the Jennifer Lopez sweater. But it's definitely Pluma used for the.
It's beautiful, oversized and kind of a large stitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I have the store has deconstructed it, but I can't seem to get the pattern. I have to buy the yarn.
Now I need to look up that sweater.
Yeah. Yeah. Check it out.
I'll just look up, pictures of JLo and see if I can find it.
Yeah, wait, where did she wear it?
I have the picture. If anybody wants,
Okay.
or maybe I'll send it to Pam.
Okay. Oh, that would be fun to see. I mean, see,
Yeah.
it's these big, rock star people, celebrities that just,
It's amazing.
it's good for knitting. It's good for knitting, the knitting industry and the knitting community.
It seems so silly, but everybody loves looking. I mean, that store, they're making this sweater. They bought over 100 bags of it already.
Wow. That is a beautiful yarn. I mean, that is a nice alternative to those who are sensitive to yarn, for sure.
Really
Awesome.
beautiful. Really beautiful.
Okay,
Thank
let's see.
you so much.
I think I saw, was there another question? Oh, will there be more classes for this hat? That was from Janet. Is Janet still around? Maybe she left.
I think she had to go.
Oh, there's Janet. There you are. Okay. What do you think? I mean, I'm happy to help over in KnitChats. If you have any help, if you have any questions, or I don't know, Pamela, we can talk about a second meetup because I think, oh, I should talk about that. I think we'll run this through the 28th, through the last day of the month, and I'll be looking through the hashtag. Janet, are you guys on social media at all, either Instagram or Facebook? Yes. Okay, so KnitChats is mostly on Instagram. I don't know, Pamela, I think probably has a big group on Facebook. But the hashtag we've chosen for this knit along is the hashtag Granger Toque KAL 2022.
And I just stuck it in the chat.
Okay, good. Oh, perfect. So if you would like to post all your, your yarn, your whips, your finished objects, that's where we'll go to pick the winners of our 3 prizes that we're giving away. But Janet, to answer your question, I mean, yeah, maybe if you guys, if there's any interest, we can certainly meet up again. I don't know, maybe
it's a fun knit along. I mean, I'm sitting here knitting along while you guys are teaching me things. It's just fun to do. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
We could
well,
we could do another one in a couple weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I
A
started when
check-in.
the class started, so I'm not very far, but it's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure, sure. Well,
Sure. Yeah. So Pamela, you'll send out probably another email, and we'll powwow and get another
yeah,
date on.
let's talk, and we'll get it organized, and then that way, for sure. I mean, that's plenty of time for you to be farther along, and maybe there'll be some questions as there gets to be the decreases. You know, there might be some questions and stuff. I wanted to show Josie, may I show the yarn and stitch marker prizes?
Yeah. Let's wrap that up with the prizes. Yay. Okay. So let me I'll
Let me see.
spotlight.
Here's a set of
Yay.
stitch markers. These are hand painted, laser cut. They're light as a feather. They're wooden. I just love them. It's everything that I'm using right now. And so there'll be a set of stitch markers, a skein of classy, and this isn't classy. Where's my classy? Here's my classy. A skein of classy yarn, hand-dyed yarn, and Josie, you want to tell them what you're adding to the drawing
Yes,
package?
to the package. So we will throw in an annual membership to KnitChats, which is a $50 value. So we'll be giving away 3 of these packages: the yarn, the stitch markers, and the annual membership. So yeah, so post away when you're ready, and we'll meet up in a couple of weeks and check in. And
so Josie, when they're done, do they post hashtag Granger Toque KAL 2022 and the picture of their finished product?
Yes.
Project?
Your finished projects would be great. I mean, we'll
put you in anyway.
Yes. That the finished project is what we will choose from, and it'll just be random. It's not like there's going to be any sort of judging.
Oh God, no.
No. This is right.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to make it seem.
No. Oh gosh, they're all going to be beautiful.
Absolutely. Now, Karen,
that's it. I think that's the story, guys.
That's it. Karen asked, after round 1, every repeat of R1, what does this mean?
Oh, good question. And that's a good one to end on, because yes, I got this question before. So you'll see on round 1 and also round 4 might seem a little confusing. What happens is in a couple of, round 4 and round 8, you're doing the LPT and RPT, right? So it'll make more sense when you get to those points in the pattern. She's going to have you shift the marker in between the RPT and LPT. So just follow the instructions exactly. She's very clear with it. And then you will see what she means, because then when you go back to, let's say, round 1, you will see that you had put the marker in between the LPT, and so the purl will already be there when you start round 1 again. So that's what she means. So it'll click when you get there, I promise. And if it doesn't, then shoot us a message and I will clarify that.
So Josie, is your email here?
Oh, no, let me drop that. That's a good reminder. Thanks, Pamela. Yeah, I'll put my email here. You can directly email me at josie@knitchats.com.
And
I just have a really quick question.
Oh, yes. Hey, Alexis.
Hi. I like to post pictures of my works in progress. Should I still use the hashtag?
Sure.
Okay.
That'd be
I
fun.
just wasn't sure if that would confuse things or not.
Absolutely not. That I'm a process knitter. I love seeing works in progress. Totally. Yeah, please do share your yarn, your hat in progress. Okay, everybody, I think we've got to wrap it up. at this point. It was so lovely to meet all of you. I know some of you, Jackie, I know you've been quiet there, but I know Jackie. It's great to see you. It's been so long. I know. Susan, Tony, Barb, Gilda, Vanessa, Karen, Alexis, Karen, and Janet. Thank you all.
Ellie and Susan and Tony.
Did
Tony, we
did
didn't see
get
Tony and
everybody,
Susan's
Ellie?
face.
Yeah.
Well, it's been so great having you. Thank you so much for joining us. And I will send out an email to the list saying, announcing the second one as soon as Josie and I get it together and just come up with a time. It does noon, I should ask, is noon Pacific time a pretty good time for all of you?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. All right. Shoot me an email if it doesn't, if something else is, I don't know. It's hard to accommodate everybody across all the time zones, but I think this was, Josie picked this and I think it was the best we could do. Anyway, thank you, everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye, everybody. Have a
Bye.
good weekend.